What is anthropology? In today's session, we are going to discuss that. Anthropology is the study of all people, past and present. The term anthropology is derived from two Greek roots, anthropos meaning humans and logia meaning discourse. The term was first used in English in the year 1593. Anthropologists study people. They do not study rocks, stars, plants, or the weather. However, we may have little difficulty in separating the field of anthropological inquiry from those of other sciences such as astronomy, geology, botany, and meteorology, which all have claimed to have studied people in one way or another. Medicine is concerned with the workings of human bodies, psychology with that of the mind, history is concerned with the study of past activities of human beings, and sociology with the arrangement of institution in the present, etc.
All of which put together at great pressure.
I can go on and on, the list is inexhaustive. But what then is distinctively the anthropological way of studying people? Let's see that. Anthropology is a comprehensive study of human development, of change and culture with full view on world's socio-cultural systems. Because of its central emphasis on cultural variation, it clarifies the dynamics of intercultural interaction, communication, and transformation of our biological heritage. What is anthropology's characteristic methodology? Let's see that. Long-term field research creates an understanding of human behavior, which eliminates the interconnectedness and interdependency of diverse types of activities, be it expressive or pragmatic, and secular or sacred. Because of its holism, anthropology can be taken as carrying the frame unto which may be fitted all the related academic discipline of a liberal education. Indeed, the field of anthropological inquiry has been influenced by multidisciplinary approaches integrating humanities with that of natural and social sciences. In turn, historians, psychologists, literary critics, biologists, and many more have regularly drawn on anthropological research and theory. While anthropologists employ social sciences methodology such as survey and natural science methodology such as observation, the social relationship and interaction of field research provides special access to the subtle expectations of everyday life. So as a result, whether the field research is carried out at home or in unfamiliar places, field research deepens one's appreciation of how people everywhere invest their experiences with meanings. One of the salient feature or quality that makes anthropology different from other related academic disciplines like sociology is its insistently cross-cultural variation or comparative perspective. By extending our vision beyond the confines of familiar social contexts and experiences, this perspective acts as a counterweight to culture-bound or ethnocentric ideas regarding human nature. Together with biological anthropology, this comparative perspective has made anthropologists to play a leading role during the 20th century and well into 21st century in undermining the intellectual credibility of social racist theories. In an ever-shrinking multicultural world, mankind's most difficult problems are at least as frequently as sociocultural as biological and technical. A cultural perspective on human diversity is urgently required. In American scholarship, it has long been customary to distinguish 4 subfields of anthropology. They are physical anthropology, archaeological anthropology, cultural anthropology, and linguistic anthropology. The first subfield is physical or biological anthropology. Physical differences among people living in various parts of the world are clearly visible. For example, people living in mainland Europe tend to have lighter skin with straight hair, while that of folks living in Africa have darker skin with curlier hair. These are biological differences, and the goal of physical anthropology, or the study of humanity as a biological species, is to understand why and how these differences on human theme came about. Physical differences among people aren't all that anthropology is concerned with, but understanding human variation or genetic differences worldwide and through time is an important field of the study. The subfield is concerned with evolutionary origins and diversity of the species Homo sapiens. Physical anthropology include paleoanthropologists who study fossil, primatologists who study apes and monkeys, and human geneticists. Physical anthropology has its finger in lot of other pies too, from the study of fossil to DNA analysis to documenting and explaining differences in cold and heat tolerance among people and worldwide, study of diseases, population genetics, and dozen of other topics. The second subfield, archaeological anthropology, is concerned with the study of artifacts or material remains of the past. Prehistoric archaeologists are specialized in studying the artifacts without written records, while that of historian archaeologists are specialized in studying the artifacts with written records. Archaeologists cooperate with other specialists such as geologists, biologists, and historians. Archaeologists are those people who try to fill in the gap in history by studying the material remains of ancient cultures. Archaeologists do get excited when they discover an ancient piece of pottery, not necessarily for that piece of pottery, though it may be beautiful, but for what it can tell humanity about its past. Archaeologists don't just try to focus on correcting or flushing out the historical records of the past, but they also study roughly 2.5 million years of humanity before writing was invented. The third subfield, cultural or sociocultural anthropology, is the study of human lifeways and thoughts, which can be often summed up as culture. Cultural anthropologies are specialized in studying one or more cultural groups or domains such as Inuit art, Hopi religion, and Australian Aboriginal kinship, etc. All human cultures are basically ethnocentric, meaning they typically believe in what they are doing, right from the way they eat to the way they dress, is more fine and proper or superior than the other ways of doing things. This feeling of superiority can lead and has led to everything from poor intercultural relation to ethnic cleansing. Cultural anthropologies and the knowledge and understanding they generate while studying many different forms of being human can help smooth out intercultural communication. It can help humans understand others' perspective. It also explains why race and ethnicity could be such volatile issues. How humanity organizes identity from family groupings to gender categories and keeps track about who's related with whom and basic characteristics of human various religious traditions and political systems. The fourth subfield, linguistic anthropology, is concerned with the nature of the language, with the nature, the history, the social function of the multitude of different languages spoken and written around the world. Depending on whom you ask, humanity speaks about 6,000 languages. The study also reveals what a language is and how linguistic anthropologies have investigated how the language has evolved, which is one of the most fascinating studies in anthropology. In laying out a clear definition of language, linguistic anthropologists have had to compare human communication with communication of the other living beings. All of what they have learned, and from the fascinating study of how human acquires to the layers of meaning seem to be present only in human communication, give humanity a better understanding of how unique and precious language is. In the British tradition, by contrast, there are only three subfields of anthropology. They are physical anthropology, archaeological anthropology, and social rather than cultural anthropology. Taken together, these four subfields give anthropology a uniquely holistic, broad-based, and overarching worldview. Anthropologists are quick to assert that any statement on human nature must pertain to biological and cultural nature of everybody. In a sense, anthropology can be traced to the earliest antiquity, when humans began to speculate their own origin and diversity. However, as an explicit, defined field of academic inquiry, it is a creation of last 2 centuries of thought of that region of the world which is conventionally known as the West. Western thought is not a monolithic edifice, but a complex interweaving of often opposing currents. And this is not less true of anthropology. Moreover, these currents did not flow in historical vacuum, but rather responded to the dominant moral, political, and economic concerns of the time. Thus, British anthropology developed alongside the growth of the empire. Its preoccupations were fueled by the need of the colonial administration to take the measure of the presumed superiority over the administered nation. In many countries of the continental Europe, the growth of anthropology is linked to the rise of emergent nationalist movements and to the efforts on the part of the adherents of each movement to discover national heritage in the tradition of local people or peasant culture. However, the situation was quite different in North America. United States and Canada have their own indigenous Indian people, and the first priority of the many American anthropologists was to record as much as possible the physical features, material artifacts, languages, and culture of the Amerindian groups before it was too late.